Got to get to cryptocurrencies, which are in the midst of a meltdown. Yeah, you could call it that. Bitcoin nosediving below 23,000 this morning, and right now hovering just above 23,000 at 23,271. Its lowest since December of 2020. Now, Ethereum has lost 2/3 of its value this year. We do have Ether down 457 points. That's a loss of 27%. Litecoin XRP, they are getting stampeded here. The value of the entire crypto market has now fallen below $1 trillion. Now, the crypto collapse arguably started over the weekend, but seriously accelerated Sunday when digital currency lending company Celsius Network, which has close to 2 million accounts worth about 20 billion, froze all withdrawals and transfers on the platform due to what it called, quote, extreme conditions. The halt and ensuing alarm caused a domino effect across the digital currency ecosystem. And then the situation worsened this morning when Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, suddenly blocked all Bitcoin withdrawals for about an hour. CEO Changpeng Zhao said that the pause was caused by a, quote, stuck transaction, which triggered a backlog on the network. Now, this spreads to the crypto universe, right? Contagion darkened immediately at the open. MicroStrategy, whose CEO, Michael Saylor, is a huge crypto investor, is taking a beating right now, down 28.6%. The company has lost $1 billion over its nearly 130,000 Bitcoin bet and is down 70% year to date. Coinbase, this is the largest crypto trading platform in the U.S., fell as low as $46. It's at 50 now, 50 and change, but still down 13%. We've got Bitcoin miners Marathon and Digital Holdings, Riot Blockchain plunging in the red. But one of Bitcoin's biggest names says we're not there yet, but he believes we are getting close to a, quote, generational buying opportunity. Joining me now on a Fox Business exclusive, Pomp Investments, Anthony Pompliano. First, let me get to this. Pomp, what do you believe is at the heart of this sell-off?
Yeah, look, it's very obvious that the Federal Reserve is in control right now. And in many cases, all assets are just one big trade at the moment. And so if you go ahead and you take a look going all the way back to the beginning of 2020, going back to January 1st, 2020, with hindsight kind of on your side, and you could buy any asset, you would have bought Bitcoin and outperformed stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, other currencies, et cetera. But that doesn't mean that it is in any way insulated from the macro environment. And I think what we're watching right now is the transfer of Bitcoin from weak, short-term oriented people with weak hands into the long-term oriented, strong hands. And you see that on chain with the various wallet metrics, but you also see it with a lot of Wall Street firms seeming to dump Bitcoin that they got into over the last 8 to 12 months. And you see a lot of the people who've been around for a long time saying, hey, I've been here before, I've seen this happen, and I got a really long time horizon, and this is really attractive to me.
This let me drill down here. So the institutional guys, along with some of the marginal people, people on the side who had a couple of Bitcoin, they are getting extremely anxious, or maybe, Pomp, they are driven by the fact that they've lost a lot of money in the stock market and they need to raise cash, and they're doing it by exiting Bitcoin.
I think there's two ways to look at this, right? First is if you look at the institutional folks, Bitcoin began to get institutionalized, and Bitcoin is the riskiest thing in their portfolio. And so if they're going to go risk off, they sell Bitcoin. And they happen to have a lot of Bitcoin because they have a lot of money in their portfolios. And so Bitcoin started to dump, just like every other risk asset went down as well over the last 8 months. Now, one of the things to pay attention to, and what I think a lot of people that are more Bitcoin native or have been around for a while, we are watching a divergence. Price and value are completely decoupling right now for Bitcoin. What I mean by that is price is down from $69,000 high in November down to around $23,000 today. But hash rate hit an all-time high today. The Bitcoin network has never been more secure than it is today. If you then go take a look at the Bitcoin wallet addresses with 0.01 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, or 1 Bitcoin in them, those all three have hit all-time highs. And the Lightning Network capacity also is hitting an all-time high.
Okay.
And so in some way, that decoupling is the fundamentals continue to hit all-time highs and strengthen while price is falling. And I think that at some point, fundamentals and kind of the value of Bitcoin will meet price. The question is just where and when that happens.
Right, the twain shall meet is what you're saying. We also got a bit of worrisome news from BlockFi. This, of course, is a crypto exchange and wallet company. And they're the ones, they have these interest-bearing accounts. They announced that they are trimming their headcount by 20%. They said that it would basically affect everybody at the company. This is all a lot of bad news. And that said, you feel that we're getting close to a buying opportunity, at least in Bitcoin. We're at 23,187. Talk to somebody who's skeptical here.
I think there's two different things. There's Bitcoin and there's the equities in the industry. And I'm an investor in BlockFi, so I don't want to comment specifically on that business. But I think across the industry, what you're seeing is that these are still businesses where there's cash flows and there's balance sheets, and they have to run businesses for the long term. And so naturally, as you head towards what many people deem to be a bad time in the macroeconomic environment, you're going to get folks looking and saying, how do we shore up our balance sheet? How do we get to profitability? And that's not a Bitcoin or crypto thing. That's across all technology industry. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin specifically, I think ultimately the value investor framework is being applied to Bitcoin by Bitcoiners. And that kind of puts a lot of the legacy finance folks, their heads go into a blender when that occurs. Because you take the timeless principles, Warren Buffett, buy great assets and hold them forever.
Okay, but what's the level? What's the price where you'll say it's a generational buying opportunity?
Historically, when Bitcoin trades below the realized price or the on-chain cost basis, that tends to be a pretty good chance. We're there now. Who knows how much lower it could go, or if it goes sideways or even has a strong recovery. But I think that there's a lot of Bitcoiners who are saying, I'm buying an asset where the price has dislocated from the value or the fundamentals. And just like those value investors would do that with traditional businesses, the Bitcoiners are salivating right now, and you see them gobbling up as much of that Bitcoin as possible.
It's not moving the price, though. Still pretty dramatically lower here at the moment. Let's just do a final check. As we continue to watch all of this and more, we do have Bitcoin down about 20.6%. Anthony, great to see you. Thank you for coming on a very major news day, especially in the crypto space.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Liz.